One of the important topics which we touched during previous episodes was the sunscreen. And sunscreen is something which we have to utilize in our daily life in order to avoid the damage of the ultraviolet rays to the skin. When we are exposed to the ultraviolet, we have two impacts on the skin. Number one, we get more skin pigmentation. Number two, we get accelerated loss of collagen because ultraviolet rays are damaging the collagen, and we have accelerated collagen damage when we are exposed to this ultraviolet. The source of ultraviolet is not only the sun, but also daylight lamps are emitting ultraviolet radiation, which can affect our skin negatively. So in order to avoid that, we have to use sunscreens. And sunscreens, in order to be utilized appropriately, there are three important conditions. Number one, the SPF has to be 30 and above. So all the skincare products or the makeup which contain sunscreen but with SPF less than 30 doesn't count and does not provide enough protection against the ultraviolet radiation. Number two, we have to understand that after 2 or 3 hours, the effect is gone, regardless the SPF. So if the SPF is 30 or 50 or 100, the effect is gone after 2 to 3 hours and it has to be reapplied. Number three, it has to be applied indoors if you are staying in daylight lamps, because as we mentioned earlier, daylight lamps are emitting ultraviolet and we have to be protected from. So using the sunscreens even indoors is very important as long as we are exposed to those lamps with daylight emission. One of the obstacles or the challenges is that ladies who are using makeup, it's not easy for them to apply sunscreens while they are out working or whatever. But in this case, we have to utilize what's called the mineral powder products, which are having sunscreen or SPF with SPF of 30 or above. And this is very easy to be utilized. There are different colors which matches different types of skin. And this is something which can be applied via brush on or over the makeup, and it makes the life much easier, and we can use it in order to protect our skin in a very nice and practical way. However, it's very important to know that in order to avoid the skin hyperpigmentation or the damage of the collagen in our skin, it's very important to utilize those sunscreens appropriately according to the conditions we mentioned, in order to have flawless skin and to keep our skin with no wrinkles and no lines as long as possible.